Hey, welcome back to the table. We are getting ready to play some more Ultra Quest. I know I took about a month off since the last recording, and it was, with all the holidays and everything going on, it was a good month. So a couple of things. The first one, I'm interjecting this video into the play series as like the very second video in the series. My first playthrough, of course, is there. I lost. From my perspective, I got a lot of rules wrong. And I apologize for that. I tried to make an errata video. I think I covered most of them. But to be quite honest, I still got some key fundamentals wrong. And in my opinion of the game was very different too. I actually, quite frankly, didn't enjoy it. I still am not sure if this is the holy grail for gaming. I mean, as far as a dungeon romp goes, this isn't bad. I would put it on the same level as maybe Sword and Sorcery. The one gripe, if you've watched my first playthrough, which I'm not going to delete with all of its errors, it'll still be there. But if you're new to this and you're watching this for the first time, I know I said the playthrough would start on video 2. Technically, I'm lying now because I had to interject this. It'll now be the third video, and it'll be titled Luxor Campaign Second Try or something like that. So make sure you look for it. It'll probably be the 11th video in this series. And the point I'm trying to get at here is if you're looking for a very clean playthrough where the rules are pretty crisp, I'm ready for that now. Now, one of the drawbacks is when the game first arrives, I had videos of playthrough out within days. I'm not like Rolling Solo, who's an awesome guy, by the way. I'm in his channel. I love chatting with him. Those guys get the game early, from publishers, and they can produce playthroughs before the rest of us even get the game. That's not the case. I'm getting it the same time you guys are. My claim to fame, if I'm allowed to claim anything, is I can record and publish a video within hours. And it's because I don't edit, and some people love it, other people hate it. In fact, I have a hate mail that I'm going to share on a video at some point from somebody who just went bonkers because of the way I record. But with that being said, that's not important. For this particular playthrough, my second playthrough, I really believe you're going to find some really crisp rules. Now, why? Well, because I'm benefiting from a month of waiting. And FAQs were released on Board Game Geek. And I've also played the first campaign almost all the way through. I did 4 chapters, let's put it that way. I did 4 of the 6 chapters. So I know some of the storyline. I don't remember all the choices and what leads to what. So trust me, I'm not going to have the optimal path figured out for you. But we're going to try again. And that's basically it. I don't want to get too deep into it. The other thing is that I found, after playing this multiplayer, that this game is most enjoyable as 4-character party. Now, I said that you could do like a single character party. I know people are posting that it's totally fun doing that. I don't frankly think it is. This to me is more fun if you have a 4-character party where each character has a specialization in, a different type of skill. Like you want a might character, a magic, or whatever. So I am going to try to do 4 characters. And let me show you my setup. Taking advantage of my table here where I folded this out. And so the first one is we are going to do Ulrich Von Lichtenstein again. And to be quite honest, he's the best might character in the game. After I've played several others, I just like this guy so much. He has a very strong might, and he uses it. Everybody else, they have cute cards where they're really strong on the orange, but then they attack with the might. I mean, it's just a mess for them. So he's our first character. The second one is we're going to bring a healer, or as good of a one as we can, Cedrin Highmore. I really liked him, and I think he has some really nice skills and some nice healing ability. To be quite honest, if you don't want the cumbersomeness, because this gets cumbersome, controlling 4 characters, if you really want to reduce your cumbersomeness, you can replace him with the ally character. The ally character heals 2 points every round. That's awesome. And I really think that you could replace him with that. Now, what you lose by having an ally character, as you saw in the first campaign, is they're extremely limited in what kind of things they can do. Like, they can't, disarm a trap. Stuff like that. And so they're really annoying that way. He has a really strong blue skill. And that blue skill is, necessary to, pass certain tests. And if you have him as an ally character, all he can do is move and either attack or heal. That's all he does. So by having him as a full-blown character, you get a little bit more versatility. But trust me, when I say controlling just one character can be quite brain-numbing. And I don't mean because it's so boring. I mean, there's just so much going on. And my largest concern with doing this campaign is that even with some playthrough time, I still might make a lot of mistakes. And I guarantee you, I'm going to forget to draw cards. I'm going to forget to do those menial, tasks. But that's just because that's on me. The third one is Rowan Laughlin. I really liked Karen, and I really liked the fact that she always wanted to speak to my manager. And it's not as much fun playing with somebody with a boring name instead of Karen. However, this rope is the most amazing thing in the game. And if you've never played before and you want to play just one character, pick this one and use that rope, and you'll thank me later. Okay, and then the last character, which I actually fell in love with, is Willow Banks. And she's basically your bard type character. I really like her, and we're going to try to use her. You may notice that I'm missing a mage. If I had to pick one, I would pick Kayla, Quella, Quella, if you want to pronounce it that way. I honestly wouldn't know who to replace her with. Obviously, these two are both rogue-type characters, although this one is the purple skill, the charisma. This one is the green skill. I would probably replace her, Willow Banks, with the mage. Now, the reason why I was comfortable with not having a mage is I still have 2 magic strength with all 4 party members. So we're all pretty decent in magic, even though we're not the best. Having Kayla or Quella as your ally is also awesome. So that's another ally I highly, highly recommend. And then the third ally I totally recommend is, I have to look her up here real quick, Myrene Duvall. This character here, whoops, I just made a off-camera mistake. Give me a second. Oh, what's going on here? All right, yep. Okay. Situation resolved. This character right here, Myrene Duvall, is an awesome ally card. She pumps out shields like crazy for all your party members. If you want to play solo and then have like 3 allies come with you, I highly recommend that she be your third. And she actually isn't a bad character to play either. She's very good. I guess she's a vampire. This game's weird. There's friendly vampires and there's mean ones. I'm not sure I'm into the theme of this game very much. I tend to prefer the traditional goblins and orcs. This one has like vampires that are friendly, vampires that aren't. It's really weird that way. And then you're fighting frogs and pigs. Yeah, not into it. It's not as interesting to me, but I at least give them credit for trying to make it its own unique universe. Okay, so with that said, I still have the system where I can put a card on your screen so you can read what's going on while we play. And like I said, I zoomed out here to show you my table setup. I got all the miniatures over here to my left, and the game board is way out there. It's actually really difficult for me to reach. And then I have stuff on the right, and then that green screen is just how I'm pulling off my my card play. So I do have room though to put the camera here, so we can at least see the board and do stuff with the board, and we'll be off and running. So I need to get this game set up and properly have everything in its place. Then we'll do the choose your own adventure. We did this once before with the first campaign. It's really not going to change much. What I am going to do is I'm going to go through and make all the choices and have the game completely set up. So that way when we do the choose your own adventure, we can go through it a bit quick, and then at least for the first chapter. After we get past that, we can slow down a bit, and basically I just want to be able to jump in and play the next video. So thanks for joining me, and and sticking with this. We're going to get it right. I know other people are doing videos for this. This is not a obscure game, and I tend to do the more obscure ones that everybody refuses to do videos for. I'm only recording this one because I'm playing it, and it's been a long time since I've done a recording one. To be quite frank, I've been playing this for like a week straight, and we're having some fun multiplayer with this. I think solitaire, this is a bit of overwhelming task. There's a lot of fiddly with this. When you're playing multiplayer, what we did was we gave certain tasks to certain players, and they took care of this, and they took care of the monsters, and I mean, it just it's a bit much. But if you have solitaire Gloomhaven, it's about at the same level. And so anyways, the only difference is you don't have an AI to worry about. Like with Gloomhaven, you had to figure out where all the things were going to go and the AI of it. Here, that's not as bad. Okay, so I didn't want this video to be very long, so 11 minutes. I did pretty good for Jeff standards. We'll jump into the like I said, we'll get into the choose your own adventure. I'm going to pre-select our path, so I have everything figured out for all the players. I'm going to wipe my previous game that I was playing, as you can see here, off the board. One other thing I wanted to say is I previously, in the first playthrough, if you watched, you'll know that I really disliked this game because I had to split up my party in order to win. Like, just by knowing what my objectives were, it basically rewarded those who split up their party. I don't want to say that we haven't split up our party playing multiplayer, because we have, but only at specific times when it made sense. One of the things that people pointed out to me is I was playing with the entire deck of feature cards, and it is in the rule book. Everything is in the rule book. It's just that the rule book sucks. And people in Board Game Geek tend to agree, or I'm agreeing with them, whichever way you want to look at it. The rules in the rule book, they're usually there. It's just never where you are looking for them, and it's sometimes ambiguous. And like, for example, there's a guy on Board Game Geek that completely misunderstood the rule I'm going to explain. You always draw 7 cards and make a deck of 7 of these. So there's more than 7, and that was a big mistake I made. So the first campaign playthrough, we had way too many room cards in, and that's the reason why the game... That's why we lost. It's one of the main reasons why we lost. I was splitting up my party to try to plow through the rooms as fast as I could. And to be quite honest, that none of that was necessary. You only have 7 room cards, and then you have an altar card, altar found card, so there's technically 8. Some other guy thought that there was actually 9. And he explained, it's on Board Game Geek, you can find it, and his logic was sound when you read it, because the way the words are written, you could interpret it either way. But the real answer is 8, folks. It's not 9. Don't let that fool you, even though his interpretation, when you read it, you're like, oh man, that makes sense. It is 8. So, rulebook could be better. And the rulebook is completely missing examples, which would make so much help. Last thing, if you have not watched the first playthrough, I go through quite a bit of detail explaining cards like this one. So it has an exhaust on it. See here? You can exhaust a card and still do the actions on the card. Most of us who have played, hundreds of board games, when you exhaust a card, you can't use anything on that card anymore. That's not the case with this card. If you exhaust a card, you just can't use any more exhaust keywords. You could still do the actions on any card that is exhausted. So it's not fully exhausted. By exhausting a card, you're just, some cards might have 3 or 4 different exhaust actions on them. So if you exhaust it for one reason, you can't use any of the other 3. That's what exhaust means in this game, and it'll come more apparent as we play. All right, thanks for watching. Stay awesome, and in this time and age, stay healthy and safe. And we'll see you very soon. I'll get this uploaded, and then we'll start the next playthrough.